north of Sydney, just past the Hawkesbury River. The ride is about 100 kilometres long and 1400 metres in elevation, with almost the whole thing on Pacific Highway and all Pacific. This route features some of the nicest rolling hills and one of my personal favourite descents. In this guide, I'll tell you a bit about the profile of the ride, where to refill your water bottles, and of course, where the best cafes are. Today I'm riding with a small group of friends at what Richard calls a chatting pace. It rained during the night, but the sun is out now and it's going to be a classic Sydney summer day. We started the ride early at 6 AM in Crow's Nest to avoid the hotter parts of the day and also to avoid traffic on the way home. This route is super easy, being pretty much a straight out and back the whole way. If you're enjoying this cycling video series, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and also comment down below what you'd like to see in the future. The first section of this ride is to Barara and is about 30 kilometres. This follows Pacific Highway and is overall slightly uphill. There is a lot of traffic lights, so be prepared to spend some time practicing a track stand. The whole way to Barara has at least 2 lanes, so as long as you're with a group it should be safe enough. This route has lots of other cyclists who are using it to get to areas such as Bobbin Head, Wiseman's Ferry and Akuna Bay, so on a weekend morning you're bound to have some company. Once you get past Barara, the road becomes single lane but also much quieter. This is because the majority of traffic takes the Pacific Motorway which runs parallel to this road. There's no more traffic lights, so enjoy the rolling hills and room to look over the guardrail for some awesome vistas of the National Park. Soon enough, you reach the Brooklyn Ascent, which is one of the nicest in Sydney. It's got wide turns, isn't too steep, and there's even sections where you pass over the Pacific Motorway. The descent is about 4 kilometres long at negative 4.5% gradient, with the start of the segment at Pie in the Sky and the end of the segment just before Brooklyn Bridge. we cross the Brooklyn Bridge, we approach the last part of this ride before we turn around, which is Mount White. The climb is 3.2 kilometers long and just under 5% average gradient, with the start of the climb being a bit steeper before it flattens out in the second half. When you get to the top of the climb, I usually go a little bit further to get to a parking bay so I can eat some food and take a breather before the descent. By now you're probably thinking about coffee and maybe a bite to eat, so here's my 3 cafe suggestions. Number 1 is Estuary, which we went to in this video. It's a beautiful restaurant and bistro on the water just by the Brooklyn Bridge. There's fantastic amenities here, including areas to fill up your water bottle, go to the toilet, sit in the shade and park your bike. The coffee was decent, but the food selection is where it shines, with meat pies, sausage rolls and a variety of cookies and muffins. The second is Pie in the Sky. This is the most popular with the motorcyclists and car enthusiasts which frequent this area. As the name suggests, the main item on the menu is pies with plenty of sweet and savoury options. If you get an apple pie, I recommend getting some ice cream with it. The third is Old Road Cafe, which is just a bit further north of Mount White and will add a few kilometres onto your journey. This is your standard side of the road cafe and you'll have to buy bottled water if you need to fill up. The only hurdle left now is the Brooklyn climb. Same as the descent, it's about 4 kilometers long and 4.5% gradient. There's 2 lanes at the shoulder all the way up, so plenty of room for bikes and motorists. I hate to say this, but sometimes there is responsible motorcyclists who ride this area and seem to enjoy passing dangerously close to bike riders. In the footage here, you can see a motorbike pass between me and the lane marking on a road, which is clearly wide enough for multiple cars. This behaviour is pretty stupid and a good way to ruin anyone's weekend. Anyway, that's my rant over. The rest of the ride is just going back the way you've come, and thankfully it's mostly downhill. If you want to add some extras on, you can do Bobbin Head by turning off just before Hornsby, and this will deposit you back on Pacific Highway quite nicely just before Pymble. Anyway, that's the end of this cycling guide. If any of my videos have inspired you to go out and do something new or try a route, I'd love for you to let me know. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.